Pipeline Studio is about understanding your workflow and knowing when it's running smoothly. Drift. Drift is not a mistake. It's not a failure. It's what happens when nothing forces a correction. Most pipelines don't break when something goes wrong. They drift when everything keeps working. Outputs continue. Processes remain intact. No alarms sound. And because nothing is obviously failing, nothing is questioned. Drift begins when decisions stop being intentional, when choices are made because they're familiar, because they're easy, because they don't require re-examining the system. The pipeline keeps moving, but the reasons for its movement fade. What was once deliberate becomes habitual. What was once examined becomes assumed. What once required attention now runs on memory. Over time, small compromises accumulate. A shortcut here, a delay there, a workaround that becomes permanent. Each change feels insignificant on its own. Each one feels justified in context. Together they alter the direction of the system, not sharply, not dramatically, gradually. Drift is hard to notice because it preserves momentum. Things still get done. Schedules are still met. The surface remains calm. The pipeline looks healthy from the outside, but the work begins to feel thinner, less responsive, less alive. The system no longer resists weak inputs. It passes them through, smooths them out, produces results without asking much in return. And that's the danger. When a system stops pushing back, it stops teaching. When nothing is challenged, nothing improves. Drift turns learning into maintenance, exploration into execution, curiosity into compliance. At first, this feels like maturity. Less chaos, more control. But control without feedback is blind. The system becomes optimized for continuity, not relevance, for stability, not accuracy, for motion, not meaning. Eventually, the pipeline no longer reflects the environment it operates in. It reflects the version of reality it was built for, a moment that has already passed. And reality doesn't stop changing, so the gap widens between what the system produces and what the moment actually demands. Drift doesn't announce itself when it arrives. It's recognized in hindsight, when outcomes feel disconnected, when effort no longer correlates with impact, when the work feels busy but not necessary. By the time drift is obvious, it's usually advanced. Correcting it feels disruptive, risky, unnecessary, until it isn't. Drift isn't corrected by working harder or faster or adding more structure. Those responses only deepen the groove the system is already stuck in. Drift is corrected by stopping, by re-establishing intent, by asking what the system is actually aligned to now, by questioning what it rewards, what it ignores, what it quietly discourages. Because without periodic correction, every pipeline, no matter how well designed, eventually ends up somewhere it never meant to go. What makes drift especially difficult to correct is that it rarely feels urgent. There is always time later, after this cycle, after this delivery. The system keeps promising a moment where recalibration will be easier. That moment never arrives. Instead, the pipeline grows more confident in its own output. It references itself, measures itself against its own history, uses yesterday as proof that today is fine. Feedback from the outside weakens. Signals arrive muted. Warnings are interpreted as noise. This is when correction feels unnecessary, even irresponsible. Why disrupt something that appears stable? Why question something that continues to produce results? But production is not alignment, and continuity is not correctness. Drift ensures that when reality finally demands change, the cost feels disproportionate. The adjustment feels extreme. The interruption feels unjustified, not because the correction is wrong, but because it's overdue. This concludes this session. Let what you've heard settle before continuing.